Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global on October 19th, and this week joining me to discuss it is Boya. So you can say hello again.
Hello.
So you asked to join for the Final Fantasy One event with Warrior of Light, but he seems to be missing from this. So how do you feel about that, Boya?
Pretty awful, because Warrior of Light is my absolute favorite Final Fantasy design across all of them. So it's quite disappointing.
And I've actually gone through and looked through all this event, and we're missing a large amount of the stuff that came with this event. They have like cut it in half.
Well, that does kind of go with the theory that maybe it is 2 weeks instead of 1 week.
I mean, how could they possibly split this into 2 weeks? Because even though it had lots and lots of unit stuff that were missing, like the event itself is just a farming event, really.
I
I
mean,
guess they
aren't
got. I guess.
all of our events farming events?
Well, I mean, basically, but some of them are like Dark Vision, some of them are like Vision World or Clash of Wills, etc., or like Trials, boss rushes. They definitely have other kinds than just
Yeah, I
farming.
guess that's true. I guess that's true.
But yeah, this one is just a farming event. Actually, it had an exploration as well, which is also not in the news.
I
But
can I can only hope it's next week.
we can only. So the new units are Cornelia and Evoker, and the one we're missing is Neovision's Maria, the new one from Final Fantasy II. And then for Awakenings, we're getting the Awakening for the 7-star Furion, and we're missing the Awakenings for 7-star Warrior Flight and 7-star Arc. And yeah. So are you interested in any of these other three units that we are getting?
I mean, I'm interested in Princess Sarah of Cornelia's Sprite. I think she's very cute, and I like Final Fantasy One a lot. Will I pull for her? Absolutely not. But I will hope that I get her off banner.
So the banner format is the one where you get the 50-50 at the end. So, if you luck out and get the one you do want, if you do pull, then it's great. If you get the other one, then it's really unfortunate. but but yeah, I mean, I guess
I
that's.
mean,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
both of them are really bad though.
Yeah, they're really like I was so expecting like the global upgrade tag here because last week we had the upgrades on Roos and Yish, and those are decent upgrades. Like they really improve their damage, and I would say both of them are very good units in a bad element, but the unit themselves are great. These are like, what happened?
I mean, they're substantially worse than they would have even been if Roos didn't get upgraded. He would still be like twice as good as Evoker.
Yep.
They're genuinely so bad.
Oh yeah. So, Princess of Cornelia Sarah. So, is Cornelia, I guess, the name of the country or something?
It's like I, Final Fantasy One is very simplistic. She's not. No one's really a main character. It's just you travel around, kill the elemental crystal guys, do the whole Garland storyline. That is the storyline.
So Cornelia or Princess of Cornelia Sarah. So, what does this unit do? I can tell you what this unit does in a single line. She buffs Aqua Killer. The end. I mean, really, like she's of course got a sort of kit, but not really. It's literally just like Ihana or Ilmatil or Rosa or Creel, all these units that have like all these goofy skills you're never going to use, and they've got a 250 killer. She's the 250 Aqua Killer. The end. She also has Dragon and either Dragon and Demon, but like those have multiple other sources already of 250s. Aqua is the only thing new. So yeah, she's the Aqua Girl.
Like, even on JP, even if they didn't skip Maria, like, they're kind of the same unit. You know, they're
Mm-hmm.
both, like, buffers who are pretty not good at everything else that they do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, I will say, unlike when they skipped Cater, skipping Maria is not really much of a loss. Like, it always feels bad to skip a unit and all, but yeah, Maria, like, no one's really going to cry for her unless they're a Final Fantasy II fan, assuming those even exist.
I actually like Final Fantasy 2. I mean, out of the
Uh-oh.
three of them, the only one I have absolutely no idea about is Final Fantasy 3. But 1 and 2, I'm pretty fond of those. I think
Okay.
the PSP remakes, delicious games, fantastic games.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the unit, her vision card, underwhelming. Her STMR and TMR, like they're okay. Like the TMR, if you don't have the Dragon's Brush, it's kind of like an alternative to the Dragon's Brush. You know, the LB at the beginning of the battle. It's a lot worse because Dragon Brush activates every time you Brave Shift. This one is literally once ever, so it's a lot worse than Dragon's Brush, but it's the next best thing, I guess.
I think what's really funny about this is like looking at the news here and it says elemental energy light. You know, it almost would bait somebody who thinks like, "Oh wow, you know, that sounds like a 100 amp for the whole party." It isn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is something we're going to be getting quite a bit from JP units. Is they swapped from single target 100 amps to now AOE 60% amps. That's so bad. Like, oh my
It's
god,
comical.
it's so bad. Uh, but yeah, that's the unit. She buffs Aqua Killer. We've got no Aqua bosses in the pipeline from JP, so yeah, okay. And then Evoker. So Evoker is a really bad damage dealer that has a 50% wind imperil field. Same one as like 5 other units. We've got Malphase, we've got Citan, we've got Ico, and some others at 40. So like the wind field is super who cares. He's also got a 50 water field. But again, we've got a bunch of those. We've got Nicole at 50, but more importantly, we've got Vanille at 40, and that's slot efficient because Vanille can be your 40 field and your 150 Imperil and your 89 Breaker all in one. So why would you bring Evoker to do like half damage of a unit for a field? See what I'm saying?
He is comically bad. Do not pull for him under any circumstances, unless you like whoever Evoker is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like he wasn't even a real character in Final Fantasy 3 because Final Fantasy 3 was the main characters and they had their jobs. So like the main characters were what was it like Luneth, Ark, Refia, and the other one who was it?
I think those are the remade versions of Final Fantasy 3. I think like the original Final Fantasy 3 just has completely nameless heroes, kind of like
Oh, okay,
FF1. But I mean, the
gotcha.
reason Warrior of Light is a cool design is because he's like I don't know, he's like the spirit of a main character rather than an actual character in the game.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Evoker or Summoner's damage are very, very poor. It's like really low. And his amplify, his personal amplify, is only 80%. Again, this is with like JP doing this really weird experiment where we're gonna just like stop doing good amplifies for a brief period of time. Thankfully, they got over that pretty quickly and went back to doing it properly. But yeah, this was a really flopped experiment. Really
I
bad.
genuinely have no idea what they could have been thinking.
Mm-hmm. So dumb. Vision card is terrible. TMR and STMR, honestly, not great either. Like, I guess arguably the STMR is like a slightly better ribbon, but we've already got Liliset's STMR, which is like basically the same thing as this. So it's just not good at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Mm-hmm. And then 7-star Furian's Neovision's Awakening. He's a damage dealer that does bad damage. Nothing more to say. Awaken him for the bonus event, then stick him in the vault, I guess. Yeah, not really much more to that.
Still look cool.
He does. And yeah, so the 2 vision cards we mentioned, but then there's the other vision card. So this is the water vision card. So you know how they put the Snavlenka Earth card in the general pool? Well, this is the water card. They're giving you a step up for it. So you're guaranteed to get the water card from a step up. The step up's pretty underwhelming. The rate ups are for some very, very old units. But before you freak out about them like charging for the water card, you can also see or summon an NV unit. So this is also being added to the general pool. So if you just, randomly pull a unit, you can randomly get this card. Now it's RNG, so there's I think there's 22 generic cards in the pool at this point. So there's a 1 in 23 chance per Neo you get this. If you just really must have it right away on day one, you can spend whatever it is, 20K or whatever, to get it. But I wouldn't recommend that. I just wait for it and get it off banner at some point.
I honestly didn't read the fine print on that, and I thought it was man, are they actually charging us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a lot of people in Discord, kind of losing their mind, they're charging for it, which would have been a really terrible move. But thankfully, I actually think this is a kind of a cool idea because as it should be, it's going to the general pool. But almost no one should do this, but if you just really want to, having the option to get it guaranteed is kind of nice. I like that. Probably too expensive, really too expensive for just this card, but it's an option, I guess.
In a way, this is the first time a step-up banner card you can get it before you have to quote-unquote pity it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true, huh?
Yeah. Get it on step 1.
So the real question becomes, what happened to the wind card? That was the first one of these little gotcha cards, and the wind one is still missing. They added the water and the earth one at this point. Where's wind?
Hey, maybe it's coming with Maria for some reason.
Oh lord. And then the event, nothing special here. At the very least, it's not a rerun, but it's a farming event. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3. Even though there is no Maria, it's just going here, farm it. Do auto repeat on day 1, get it done, etc. Not super interesting. So we are also missing the Crystal Tower exploration. So do you think this is going to also be delayed or just missing entirely?
I really hope it's delayed.
Mm-hmm.
However, I also hate explorations, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Could be. So we are getting one of the crown fights. They're skipping quite a few things, but one of the crown fights we're getting is for Onion Knight. So we'll go over his crowns in a second, but we're missing the crown fight for Marilith and her crowns entirely. So apparently Marilith, the Final Fantasy 1 Fire Snake, is getting skipped entirely. We're also missing the crown battle for Neovision's Furians, not the Awakened. I mean the actual Neovision's base Furian. His crown stage is missing. So we're missing, again, a bunch of Lapis. We're missing STMR tickets. We're missing STMR Moogles, mystery crystals. We're missing a lot of resources, not to mention the upgrades themselves are just, where are they?
Maybe they didn't want us to have too much content in 1 week.
Oh, my lord. And also, just to throw it out there, we're also missing the gear stage for Maria. Maria did have a special gear stage, kind of like, Lightning's clothes or Ace's coat, stuff like that. There are, the rod for Roka, things like that. We're missing another entire stage with, again, Lapis, STMR Moogles, all that kind of stuff, Emperor Gigantars, all that is just being missing, being left out, being taken away, and the gear itself is also missing, so cut content, missing all the content. And then
It's weird that Marie is the one who was cut, considering we didn't get an FF3 in English for a very long time.
Yeah. And then Onion Knight, his crowns. So they make him an 89 breaker, which is nice and all. They improve his damage, but it's still completely worthless. So he's just like an 89 breaker, another one. So, not super exciting. At this point, we've got a bunch of them.
Honestly, I'm kind of excited about it because he has some of the best animations out of any of the sprites.
Okay, it's pretty cool. They definitely make him a whole lot better than he was.
Even if he's just usable, I swear to God, I'll use him once, just because he just looks that good.
Nice. And then the other thing is now we're getting the 200 players voice replica each time you clear the daily fragment dungeon. And this is why I want to face palm so hard. So all of the brave XPS community that voted for this, shame on you. Shame on you for voting for the daily fragment challenge. Meaning, we're not going to get the full payout until December 6th because everyone picked the worst possible option. You should have picked Dark Visions rewards, or you should have picked Clash of Wills rewards, because you could have gone in there and cleared the Clash of Wills and all of it. We're done. You get it all immediately. Or the Dark Visions, you go in there and get your milestone, you're done. No, people chose, we're going to stretch this out over 2.5 months. Why did people vote for this option? Like, did you vote for...
I picked Clash of Wills because the rewards are already bad there, so maybe if they get slightly better, I'll feel less bad about it.
Yes, Clash of Wills was the right pick, because we get Clash of Wills every single month, so you knew the worst case scenario, you'd have to wait at worst 30 days, or more like 26 days, worst case scenario, if you had picked Clash of Wills, or Dark Visions, etc. But people, I could not believe when I saw in like the halfway point that the daily challenge was winning the vote. I was like, why would anyone vote for this? You were delaying your rewards for months, and they did, and it won, and oh my God, I'm disappointed. Disappointed in this decision. But oh well. Oh well.
That's what you get for being impartial. And making videos about which the correct thing to vote for is.
I will have to change my policy on that, and from now on, like, try to steer people to the right choice, because this was the worst choice, the worst possible choice that could have been picked, and it was the winner. Oh my lord! Oh my lord! So, also, real quick, I will mention, this is very, very important for everyone, the very recent Facebook compensation that everyone got, whether you were on Facebook or not, everyone got a partial compensation, and in that compensation was a minimum of 2 Fragment Select tickets. If you were a Facebook user, you got more than 2, but everyone got at least 2. Keep in mind, the shop to spend those closes tomorrow. So you have to spend those tickets either today or tomorrow. Do not forget about them, because they become useless at the end of Wednesday. So spend your Fragment Select tickets. So there you go. Your compensation tickets. And then the last thing is a live stream. So really no surprise here. Live stream on October 22nd. This is for the Halloween unit, Clash of Wills. It's just Tony and Justin. We're not getting Hiroki. So, any kind of like big surprise collaboration is obviously not going to happen. So just your very standard Halloween unit. So any predictions on who it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be a reskin, or do you think it's going to be a totally original Boya?
When has it not been a reskin?
Well, I guess like the first time that we got Lilith, or the first time that we got Carton and all that. The first time. So, but yeah, it has been reskins for a while now. Well, then again, 2 years ago it was Ibarra, her first time.
I've liked all of the Halloween units. I think Ibarra is cool. I think Lilith is really cool. I think Carton is funny. I liked his base form LB thing for a while. I knew it was gonna be good, and I mean, you know, they have really like niche uses, so I'll probably pull for it anyway, hoping it has a niche use.
So hopefully it'll be interesting and exciting, and we'll have to see that on when is it exactly? Sunday this time. So the last two times it was on like Monday. So we're going back to Sunday again. So there you go, Sunday at 7 p.m. PDT or whatever it is for your own time zone. So tune in and check it out. And I guess that's kind of it for the week, huh? Not really much else going on. Again, kind of a sort of slow week because we've got like the event dungeon, which is literally not content, and then one crown fight, one single crown fight. So this is the entirety of the event for the week. You're going to spend 15 minutes farming in the farm dungeon. You're going to spend 3 minutes fighting Zandy, and once again, we have nothing to do for the entire week.
Seems like a common occurrence these days.
Would have been real nice to get that Crystal Tower exploration this week because that would have been something, because that's actually really time intensive. So it would have been a great thing to do over the course of the entire week. But
Time intensive exploration, oh boy.
well, it's not so much that the exploration itself is time. I mean, it kind of is. It's kind of pretty huge. But it's because you assuming you want to get all the gear, you've got to run it lots of times. So yeah, it's. I mean, like I said in the previous video, it's definitely very reminiscent of the Mog cakes from early game Brave Exvius.
I really do hope they bring it back, bring it next week.
I hope so. But all right, thanks again for joining me, Boya.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, so see you guys for our 5 minutes of content on Thursday. Later.